I first flew a Huey. I was in the service in the Marine Corps after Vietnam, and first time I flew a Huey was in 1982 in flight school at Pensacola, Florida, Whiting Field. And later I would fly the CH-53 Sikorsky aircraft for my main time in the Marine Corps. And then some 16 years later, my brother Alan and I, Alan Walker, who's not here today, who's a co-founder, he's my third youngest brother, the two of us had the opportunity to buy this aircraft in a decrepit state. It had no rotables, it had many parts missing off of it. It had sat outside for 5 years in Bangor, Maine weather, out on the East Coast. No engine covers, the transmission was rusted solid, but the aircraft in its day was $1 million aircraft, and we had a chance to buy it for a fraction of that, and we had a piece of property left to us by a relative that we sold, and we had $40-some thousand in our possession. Instead of doing something smart with it, we decided to buy a war relic to put in a pole barn. It couldn't fly because it was well over $500,000 to restore it. So instead, we decided to build a pole barn, or plan to put it in there, honor it, and let it tell us war stories. And 6 months before we ever got it home, many people, like people that are here today, Vietnam veterans and other veterans and other people who didn't serve but who are great patriots because they always support their troops, came into our lives, and we decided maybe she could fly again. And a lot of men that had expertise working on these in the service and in civilian jobs came to our aid, and in 2 years this aircraft would be restored back to flight, be FAA certified airworthy, and in experimental exhibition category. And we've just now entered our 7th year of flying her since she first took flight in 2007 of July. The Huey helicopter it started in Vietnam, and Vietnam was a helicopter war. Over 5,000 of these aircraft went to Vietnam and supported the man on the ground, our soldiers. And it was their way into hell, and it was their way out of hell. And it was a love-hate relationship. They jumped aboard one of these and was taken into the jungle or a rice field or paddy and left, and the aircraft took off and they were on their own. But where they really grew to love the aircraft came from the fact that after being in the field for many days or weeks, they could hear this aircraft coming from miles away, and they associated that with being help was on its way. And nothing makes the sound of the blades on the Huey, the womp 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 sound, and that's due to the fact that the blades are 22 feet long, 21 inches wide, and they make a miniature little sonic boom noise at the tip of the blade in flight, and that gives it that very distinctive Huey sound. So imagine being out there injured, maybe your friend's dying, maybe you're dying, maybe you have no food, no water, no ammo, and your only helpline is one of these aircraft coming to your aid, and all of a sudden you hear it coming. And so the Vietnam veteran knows the sound of this aircraft better than they know anything.